And here we go. Hello, everyone. Just returned from the doctor, so a bit unprepared for everything. And as such, that will also kind of determine the program and scheduling for today. So first things first, everybody grab some tea or coffee. And get seated and ready for some stuff to do. Okay. So we have some news. Let's take a look here and let's queue things up. So that's okay. Let's share screen and let's go going. So first things first, we have some news from MongoDB. It was a security notice that came up and looks like somebody managed to access their system and get kind of to a list of their customers with some little information. Doesn't look like anything, any like crucial data has been stolen. So if you're a customer, just be aware of phishing emails and always double check the source and all that stuff. Other than that, I think it will be fine. I don't think there will be much more, but as you can see, spike in logging attempts. So at least the emails. So probably some people try to brute force it with some passwords and all that stuff. So even more reason to make sure that you have two-factor authentication set up, and probably good time now to change passwords and all that stuff, which I should do as well. But first, before we proceed, let me taste this tea that I just brewed. It's finally some Indian tea after I had like a hiatus from it based on my being sick. So it smells wonderfully. Added some honey into it. Nice. Wonderful, wonderful. So then I have some more sweets here to enjoy with it as well. So that's been MongoDB. And I had here a request. Okay, and that's been so show a bit of a okay. So from Latlatsky, see he wants to migrate his Lasky MySQL package, and he's asking for some tips, specifically that because it uses futures. So let's take a look at what he has here and see if we can provide some more for migration. So First things first, let's look at the package here. So he has here the Lodash and MySQL Live Select. Okay, so so let's take let's take it here aside, and let's gonna do first look through the package code and see if I can provide some tips. So first thing, update your API versions from and that should be updated to, let's see, it should be 2.8.1 and 3.0 alpha 19, alpha 19, or whatever is the current, whatever is the current beta, current 3.0 development, so that you can test it. That you can test it with the latest. Test it with Meteor 3. And let me just adjust stuff. Let me know if you have any comments, thoughts. I can watch the chat as well. So that's the first thing. And for testing, the simple REST package might need to be updated. That's just here looking from that. In general, thankfully here he relies only on the official, packages. So there is nothing to worry on that aspect. We have some Travis, all that stuff, which is fine. And here he has live MySQL. So obviously the fibers package will have to be moved, probably replaced by async await. So that's the big one. So we have here the for future. Each that could probably be replaced, but that's not important here. Let's take a look where he is using that. Feature is resolved. Yikes! That's going to be pretty tough, because just of how things work. Still hot. Nice. Yeah. I'm using fetch here, clone. New future. This is one of the tougher ones to, where you are actually, when you are like really tightly integrated with this to do that. So that's going to be just really just move it to async await. And let's just watch this Meteor MySQL. Let's look at this one. If this is the package Vlasky MySQL. So that's the other one that he has there. And let's actually, this one should be easily be able to check based on dependencies, big number, readable streams, buffer SQL. So the rest is probably going to be in this package. So he can. So in this case, I'm thinking because it's a fork of. Oh, come on. Let's see. First, we have here at MariaDB error codes from MySQL JS to MySQL. And I'm thinking. No longer need the npm fork. If the upstream one is maintained. So quite also. If it has also the other features that he needs, so that might be really dependent on all those things. So that will be out there. Let's quickly take a look here. Nice. Why are they creating new issues? But yeah. Let's take a look at quickly what's new in release 3.0 for Meteor. You're at alpha 19. Let's switch back here. And here we have some issue. Fix API versions from. And this interesting is that after merging, it breaks the tests. Or it might be because something specific in there. Oh, in version 3, as we look here back, source map support updated, is fiber disabled. Okay. So it will also need the 2.14 changes that are still not there. So let's take a look. Hello, everybody. Feel free to use the chat if you're watching this on Twitch or YouTube to say hello. How are you doing? If there's anything specific you want me to look at. If you are on X, that might be a bit difficult, but if you're on the community Slack, feel free to send me a personal message and I'll be happy to respond to it on air. So, also, if you're a sponsor, feel free to hop in. Today is also a bit more, how should I say it? Because I just came back from doctorate, so it's a little bit all over the place, and I don't have anything specific to talk about. But I've decided for next week, which will be the December 25th. So that will be for some Christmas Day, depending how you celebrate it. In my case, or in Centribun's case, we give gifts on the evening of the 24th. And yeah, on the evening of the 24th, that's where you have the celebration. Usually the second day then is with the wider family. This year I don't have, it's been moved to 26th, so I don't have that on 25th, so I can do a stream. So this time in the Christmas spirit, I will go over my great house, which is a description that I have written and put it on Literary Universe. Let's boot. Not a story, but more of a philosophy. Should take 51 minutes to read, so I will probably take 2 hours to read it, correct certain things, and talk about it. My great house, I've put it's a nonfiction. And I started as in progress, so there's a few more things I think I want to add to it that I got inspired by recently by going to the Lobkowitz Palace on the Prague Castle and seeing their gallery. So that will be coming up. So let's see. Let me finish adding that description in the back end here. So I wouldn't necessarily call it a philosophy, more like an idea proposal description. And yeah, house. So let's save that. That one is scheduled. Oops, do I actually need to? It did not change the okay, doesn't matter. Or maybe just little technical article here. So that's what we'll be doing. Nice. Okay. On the wait a moment. Okay, December 25th at 4 p.m. Central Time, European Time. And while I'm at this bookkeeping, let's kind of check things out here. So it's 10 p.m. in Jakarta, 8 a.m. in Denver, 10 a.m. in New York, and midnight in Sendai. Which means once I move to Sendai, I will have to move these streams at least 2 or 3 hours earlier. Who knows, maybe even earlier than that. So that's what's coming on 25th. Then the next one should be on the 1st of January, which, let's be honest, I don't think anybody is going to watch. Anyway, even the 25th one is going to be really crazy. So on the 1st, it should be something small and concise. And let me see, where did I put my ideas and notes? Just a moment. I need to pick up my block. Or is there something, guys, you would like me to specifically cover? I am going to have to go and check. Or as you can see, or was it in some other place? Okay. This one is out of date completely. I could probably tear out more pages, but first, more page to take out. This is important. I had a nice list somewhere of ideas side of Meteor, because I want to kind of do other things. One of them that kind of came out that what we are going to do is look into Hono, yes, which is kind of like a server for many, Amazon servers, Node, Dino, all that stuff. So that one is coming. And I am thinking then, with all that on the 1st of January, so let me set it up right now here. Storyteller stream on the 1st of January. So we keep the Monday slot at 16:00. Stream. And I will be migrating my personal website to Meteor 3. It will be migrating my personal website, or as much as possible as I can, to Meteor 3. The idea is that I will start with, creating a new Meteor project. That one, then I will then start slowly importing all the different aspects of my personal webpage into it. So let's create that live stream right now. Then I had talk, or the idea was also with Alem. And that was to have a discussion on the Anderson Horowitz, the Techno-Optimist Manifesto. We are going to look on this. The package is going to be the second look thoughts on this. I do believe, I just want to make sure that they don't get rid of it. I'll put in the link. So that will be the 8th at 4 again. Boom. So we have, for the new year, we have 2 already planned out. Let's see, what else can we think of? Any suggestions? Because we'll have my Great House next week. Then we have the Techno-Optimist Manifesto second week of January, so the 8th. We have one Meteor. Or strictly Meteor stream then, and that takes us to the 15th of January. Let's see what we can do about that one. We have like 3 more streams there, and for sure one of them is going to be strictly focused on Meteor. Oh no, actually no, we have the Techno-Optimist Manifesto as a special one on our... That's my mistake. It's going to be not the Techno-Optimist Manifesto, but I want to kind of share, want to watch this later, but let's see, did Alem put it up? Not yet. Okay, so sometime next week, me and Alem are going to have a special on here, so we don't want to do that will be there. I completely missed that, my apologies. So we will be trying out, oh no, JS. So it will be Hono JS episode there. So that makes more sense. So let me save those changes. And speaking of Hono JS, this, yeah. So as I said, a framework to kind of have in multiple runtimes, which I find very interesting. And I will just try it out in its default and other things, and see, because it might be something that I might be considering into the future of Meteor as well, to replace Express, which is good, but it's pretty old, and I don't think the speed is anything to write about. And especially when it comes to WebSockets, we want to have the best speed possible. So this might be where Hono comes in. Much to explore there. So we have Meteor, non-Meteor. I would really love to talk about more philosophical, you could say, things. And let's see. So on the 15th, what do we do? What do we do? So many options, and that's kind of part of the problem. Too many things to choose from. And let's see, maybe if I can find my notes somewhere else on here. There's one more place. Let me do a quick sidestep. Maybe I should really get better organized. So okay, here I need to figure out later on my ideas. Let's see. Let's see, we have. Okay, I think at this point, maybe I'll leave the 15th for Meteor 3. Just like that, to be determined. Because at that point, I think we'll be really ramping up the Meteor Meteor 3 migration and all that stuff. So that on the 22nd, we have another one. That one, I kind of want to switch it. Once Meteor, one non-Meteor, Meteor, non-Meteor. So let's see, how do we do this one? There should be one more notepad somewhere where I have all my ideas ready. And as usual on live stream, when it's put on the spot, I'm blanking. So let's quickly take on the forums here. So that would be another one. People labels, come on, categories. Okay, Harry, you can do better. That one is 4 hours old. Yes, of course, always sanitize your inputs. This is a good question. Is this, well, it is help. So let's put it there. I had one of my topics, I had it written actually down. So where are my posts? And I want not just my topics. And I had an announcement. Maybe. I'm pretty sure I made an announcement. Yes, here it is. So updating example application, that one we have done. This one we are doing with Alem. Or we could do MCP sprint. This one I said we'll be doing. This one is still in progress. We'll get some AI on Meteor 3. Oh, that might be pretty sweet. Build any MCP website. Okay. So, guys, would you like me to maybe do something on AI and Meteor 3? For that, I'm probably going to get a guest from Literary Universe, our head of research, to get more into that. So I'll have to get in touch with him. So let's take a look. On the 22nd, I'll do building MCP website with Meteor 3. This is something that we have been delaying for a while, so I think so that will be kind of the part one of many where we are going to build, where I'm going to build the website there. So let me here. So that will be on the 22nd latest. And I think that will be really depending on how my migration to my personal web page is going to go, because it will be a very similar system. So all the benefits of what I learned there is going to then transfer to my next or to the community website. We have really nice meteor.js.community, I believe. Right now it's going to just throw you an error because I don't have anything deployed there. So that's, we are to January 22nd on scheduling, which means on the 29th it can be again whatever. So let's set it up. Stream. It will be on the 29th again. Oh, let's see. I will have to, because on the 30th I have very unpleasant medical examination. And on 31st they will be taking my blood again. So end of January is not going to be pleasant for me. So I want to talk about something pleasant. And So I'm going to be talking about creative writing. For sure, yes. Creative writing, it will be related. And now the question is, and you have preference, maybe let me know in the chat. I'm thinking between either introducing my story universe and kind of playing with that there. And then the other option is kind of have to have like more general, let's say maybe even like a seminar if you want, introductory seminar into all the stuff I know about, creating worlds, which reminds me I will be speaking at the CONA, which is the Writers Conference of Northern Appalachia in March. So I might gonna get on that. Let's see. If I put it there. Let's introduce I will be introducing my little universe called Struggle for Balance. Since I will have this deadline for it, I think that's going to work out nicely, because if I have the deadline, I will have more of a incentive to actually get things more ready in literary universe and my universe. So get me back into writing, which I have been procrastinating on. It's absolutely horrible. I'm giving everything. I think kind of took. I need to really start and write for 1 year. Just get it on my schedule and everything. So that will be what I'll be then doing. Hopefully it will be like a month a report of how I'm doing, because that will be something I want to start into the next year really strictly. In general, I want to have more strict schedule, which is going to be interesting how that is going to work with my traveling and other business stuff, which might be a bit out of everything. So that's that. We are all set till the end of the month. And now then the question is, do we go and or do I go and play with some of my, we have here, yes, meet your community packages. And I should have project here, I think. Storyteller's work. Let's take a look here so that see what I can do. So Meet Your Desktop is progressing. So with this one, let me jump to Meet Your Desktop and actually look at what we are currently, what's the current version we had. Electron version 17. We use is version 17. So that we are aware that we are behind. we'll be looking to advance this as further as possible. So that's one less urgent issue, you could say, to worry about. Here I have this open PR, which I should probably get going on meteor rolls. And speaking of meteor rolls, I think kind of put it somewhere in here, but actually let's open this and let's get bit advanced on this, because what I was thinking about is, let's see, because we have added recently async functions to meteor rolls, but we have not added the types for them. So let's see, meteor rolls, where do I have them in my project list? Too many projects open up. Here we go, meteor rolls. It's like the 20th down. And there we go. So we have a few options. This one was another issue that we had here, extending the, so let me actually go to that issue. If I can find it. Oh my God. There was an issue. I just recently had a look at it. Okay, here we go. So roles and role assignment. This is the current types. Take so I think something specifically there is not working. Yikes. And now what I need to add here is the async options that we have added. So let's take a look here. It was the common async, and I need to make it bigger for you guys. 150, that should be, well, yikes. Yeah, let's minimize this, and we won't really need this project here. So on the right, I have the project itself. And what I want to check here is to make sure that, well, first of all, I also need to update here the documentation. And then what I need to do is add user roles async. And here I'm going to do that it's returning a promise, which is void. I'm gonna extend all of these that we have here, so I'll always kind of look here. I need to fix that so that we have it. I will not be adding the just say updating the JS docs in the declarations, because then that's going to be probably either somebody else can do it. It will be nice and quick tasks, and somebody wants to join on this. I'm just going to do it here because I think it might be taken specifically from here instead of here. So my main point here is just to quickly get the types in there so that we can have that here as well. So this is, again, this is kind of like, the laborious work that the maintainers of repositories have to do. And it's just primarily because it's not a sexy thing and means that other people will not be that much interested, you could say, to do it, because it's, unless it like really irks them and they need to do it just for their peace of mind. And in this case, I was hoping that somebody else would be so kind and do it, but sadly not. So I will have to work on this myself. Kernel functions. Okay, here it's actually correct. Oops, I need to actually check for this function, get all roles. Okay, that's not async. That just returns a cursor, so we are happy. Check the next one, grids groups for users async. So this one is async, and chat, if anybody knows, especially since we have that. Oh, get groups for users async is deprecated. Oh, that's interesting. Let's actually check if we have that in the common as well. And I'm just going to get this part if it's deprecated there. Groups for user deprecation warning. Yikes! Yeah, we do have it. Oh, it's deprecated here as well. So okay, so that should be fine. And here we have. So I guess maybe for the next version, we don't have to do the async one. We can just remove it. That's one option, and that's always one which is always controversial, figuring out when to actually remove these things if there has been enough of a time to do. And I think with this migration, then we do that. Or maybe this migration, away from fibers is traumatic enough that we just keep it there, and then the next one after that we'll remove it. we go, another one. The funny thing is, I don't really know that much about TypeScript. I'm not really knowledgeable as much. I just know how to do the basic types, and whenever I get into the more complicated things, I start really lose it, because I just never had enough time to getting into it. That might be also like another idea for, how should I say it, maybe learning more about TypeScript. What do you guys think? Would that be something that we would be interested in looking more into it with me? To see what we can get, maybe some deeper insights. Another big thing is that there has been some talk about maybe getting more types into JavaScript itself. I do recall seeing a proposal for that, which I think definitely people are going to have mixed feelings about. So, okay, here we have get user assignments for all. That one doesn't seem to be async. It's probably just returning a cursor. Yes, it's returning a cursor, so it doesn't have to be async, which is great. Let's check this one. So we have, okay, let's get user enroll, and that one here is async. This one is going to be interesting. So that's going to be promise, which has this type. That we have sync, remove, and that one is async as well. I haven't checked if. Okay, so we had that correctly. So let's get back to it. We have the async here. Is it returning just an empty promise? I think what we can do here is also start like doing async await, so that it's more explicit in that aspect. Async. Yeah, promise there for that. I think will be another one. I'll have to also generate documentation from this. Be like another maintainer task, and that one is specifically a maintainer related to have to. That user is enroll. It's async as well. I'll just go quickly this and do it like that to speed things up. There is enroll. Let's do async. Let's do the promise. see what else we have here. We have the role assignment. Then we have the query options, which I'll have to check if we can get that from Meteor itself. Or maybe we actually have some specific one. In this case, this is the schema for the roles collection. There's a draw assignment. Let's open up the project and let me think for a while. It will be in the, is it going to be a role common, or that's a good question. Okay, here we go. It's the roles and role assignment collection. So we have that. This one also in the next version, merger version, will be exportable. So that's another PR I have for this. But let's see, where do I have my... Okay, we have finished this. Always please do a fork, or sorry, not a fork, a branch in GitHub, because if there are like some issues and 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 if the maintainer wants to fix something, then it becomes problematic locally, to make, and there's a lot of easy mistakes that can be made there, because then you have master, you have to make sure which you have the proper origin set up, and it's a freaking nightmare. So always do forks, sorry, not forks, branches, so it's easier to maintain. So I'm going to push it. And let's go to pull requests. Everything is getting ready here. I will ask Guster to give a look on this. Doesn't recommend anybody else, so that's fine. And I will put it under my work here under projects. Don't have TypeScript here. That might be probably something that we can put under, but let's just put enhancement, added types to definition, added types for async function to definition, and fixed some called JS docs for async function. Will generate new docs in the next commit as well. Let's actually just create this pull request as is right now, like that. And if anything, this was going to be a patch, because this should have been done in the original pull request. But one more thing that I want to do here is to generate the docs, and because there's like a specific documentation that's a bit around here. And honestly, I don't remember how it was done. Or so it was something special. We'll have to update the examples as well because that's so outdated. You have the test app, but okay, that one has the UI docs. That one has here because it uses UI docs. So always, I don't do it often, so I always forget how that goes. So, and I'll have to check also if we can. I should have probably done it first check for updates. So let's take a look. I press specifically if anything I want to update UI docs, meet your notes up. Oh, actually, okay. So, okay, it has 9 dependencies. Let's take a look. Label runtime, of course. This one as well is important security-wise. Wait, UI docs is what is the? Okay, so that one has not been updated in a while. We need a better documentation. Puppeteer is up, but I don't want to touch it because that's on. That is. That's in testing, and that's better not touched. Okay, so here we go, and I'm also updating Meteor in this test app as well. Meteor 2.14, that's already recommended. We have got that. And let us also quickly check for the test suite. I think there's already actions. Check out version 4. Thankfully, those are easy to check out. So it's version 4 already. Yikes. I think the same applies to setup node. Yes, also version 4. I'll have to check also if that's the node version will be probably updated. I'm thinking cache is going to also be version 4. No, still version 3. Good. We're testing this with these. So we can go to 2.14. Check out version 4, setup 4. And on version 1, great. But let's work fine. Just a minor update here. This one is fine. So here we have the UI docs. And the question is how do, because we get the out in docs, how the heck are we putting that up? I don't recall out of top of my head. Let's check if we have like some GitHub pages, maybe. Yes, we have GitHub pages. So that one is going to be, I haven't done that update in a while, so yikes. So this one is going to be a separate pull request with all these changes and updates. But right now, what we need to do is check. So do first of all, npm ig. Let's install udocs globally. And it's outdated, and it's actually no, it has been updated, and I'm using 14 here. Interesting. But I don't. Yeah, we need definitely. That's actually something that we'll have to like cover when I'm building the documentate, or like when I'm building the community website, to have documentation pages there available. And let me take a look here on the, what was it? Docs. So I've installed it at the top of JS source tree. That is the beauty of it, because it just takes the JS components, or sorry, the JS docs, and works with it. And I think I'm just going to do the server part here. Come on, what do you mean not found? Wait, do I need to install it? No, okay, so it's instead of JS, I just do udoc. We will look at that. Note, all that stuff. So, and here we have the async functions here as well. So that works. It's not pretty. So yeah, so that's not, but it's so easy to generate. So I have to figure out something to generate. So let's have that as the second part of this stream, to figure out what we can do to nicely generate documentation. Or in our case, I think what I would want is potentially a markdown file from this, from our JS docs. And then let's see if I can first of all complete it. So docs have been generated. And now I am going to, since we saw that it works fine, I'm going to go here into packages, Meteor. We have Meteor roles. I'm going to take the docs out, put them here. I'm going to shut down this WebStorm, otherwise it's going to go crazy, because right now what I am going to do is stash these changes for future. I'm going to switch to GitHub Pages, which I want to. Set pages to this commit, discard everything. Discard all changes. Come on. It's quite a lot of stuff. And then what I need to do is I need to put the inside of the dogs here that I've copied out in there. Once that is done. Okay, so is it done? Okay, so it just has here the idea workspace. I don't care about it, but if possible, I don't want it here at all. Okay, good. And I just need to merge and replace everything. So let's see. Let's open these few in Visual Studio. As you can see, I'm not opening it often. And let's see if we can maybe check some of the other. Okay, so we need to update the version number here so that people, because I think it's going API docs for version 3 something something, which is not the latest version. Our latest version is version 3.6.0. So let's update that. Hopefully that should be. A lot of the other stuff might not be generated properly or something like that, but that's fine. Or it's probably generated properly machine-wise, so I don't have to worry about it. And let's check this one, the index out here as well. Yahoo APIs, wow. API docs, and here we go. It's the same issue, so 3.6. So we have that saved. Interesting that he's using the Blaze icon here, probably because I have some meter extension or something installed. So, and with these things, I'm just going to push it here, update docs for version 3.6.0. Push it. And if everything, fingers crossed, went correctly, we shall see now here in the top corner, that's not going to be 3.4. Yikes. Oops. Oh, that's localhost. I need to come here and let's see, where did we have the. We should probably put it here as a link or something, because, well, first of all, you don't need those. And use your GitHub Pages website here as well. So that should be it. And yes, here we go. 3.6 here is there. So that works well. Could probably do more customization and all that stuff. And now I'm going to switch back here to master, or specifically these types, back to my feature. I will now be able to open it. Pop the stash here and open again, hopefully without. Okay, I should have probably changed it here. So it's set. So that's for the future. That's what I thought I forgot to do. So that's the package types. Anything else? And I should probably add here version 3.6.1. Added types for async functions. And get that pull request, which is 386.386. Functions. So I can have myself there. So that will be actually, and with that, I'm also going to update 3.6.1. Let me quickly also do here Meteor. Actually, no, I don't want to touch it. I was thinking of updating it to Meteor 2.8.1. But I do want to check a few things. Meteor show. Yeah, oops, that was incorrect. See if there's a newer version of Zorin types. I think there might be 10. Yes. So that's another thing to add here. But Zorin types to version this. While we are at it, I think the Blaze is at. Okay, so that's the latest one, 2.71. That's correct. Right, so history, packages, the UI docs, I think here in test suite. Oh, okay, that's the other one. Other types and package version. So let's just add it there. I'll have that in there. Southern types. Let's put that in. And that will be it for my contribution to Meteor Comedy packages today. Probably for the rest of the week, given that Christmas is approaching, I still have to buy a lot of gifts and manage other things, including a Meteor meetup on Thursday that we have here locally in Prague. So I'll be busy. And now, with all of that, let's kind of switch to, first of all, so I don't forget. Hello there, Yohai. Konnichiwa. Genki desu ka? I don't see any sponsors joining me, so I'm going to switch and look for what we can replace our, how should we say it? my current the UI docs with something better. So what we need to do JS docs. So generate markdown from JS docs that we need, because then we could take the markdown and put that into our website later on. JS docs to MD. There we go. There we go. And let's take a look. Generate markdown documentation from JS doc annotated JavaScript. 2022, so 1 year old, which is fine for stuff like this. And let's see what it does. It do get markdown output function code survivor code JS doc to markdown. So that's one option. They're also using I think they are using UE here as well. Let's take a look at, well, it's very similar to UE. I'm not sure if it's for the JS docs, which is fine. Let's take a look on their GitHub. Lerna. It's not, they don't have any. Let's see. Okay, it's going to be probably. Okay, so it's something different. Fine. JS doc to markdown, also 1 year old, published. Wait. Okay, so it's the same package. And I'm thinking, how are we going to test this? I am going to actually install this globally. And I'm going to, it's, if I go like file by file, let me see actually here in the issues if it's something with TypeScript. Okay, TypeScript inside JS doc, that's fine. Okay, TypeScript module not processed well. Okay, so we'll have to really try it out. Since it's like only 2 or 3 files, we could probably be fine with it, but it's better for larger projects. I'm thinking, and I'm hoping there is going to be it's okay, so they have templates. There are options. So we can create templates here, and okay, and then it's like files. Okay, that's exactly what I needed. This is perfect. This is exactly what I needed. And then I have 2 options. I can either create some automated thing in the package itself, but I think what's going to happen, I'm going to move this to to the page itself, where I'm going to have like a JS file or something to run, which is going to go up into these individual folders with the individual packages. And from that, I am going to then generate all these files into the web page itself. So first things first, we want to, where are we? Too many open things. So let me move this aside. Let's go back to the top, what they told us here. So I can just do jsdoc md and the file, in which case, okay, I am on the top. So what do I want to do? I want to go into roles, cd roles, and jsdoc md. And let's do the roles common async es. File does not exist. Am I in the wrong place? Roles. Oh, because it's JS. Okay, so it generated it into the terminal here. So let's take a look how that looks here from the top. The roles sprite function to user authorization compatible with building meteor account package. The roles are accessible to roles collection, into roles collection, and document consists of ID, blah blah blah. Children example. So this is for the class name. Then it has generated here a list of static and some. Okay, it ignored also the internal methods. Here you can see it did a cross out of the deprecated one. This is not half bad. This is pretty good. So it starts here with the roles.global group, deprecated. Okay, so that's the first one. We have the A. Roles create role async. Returns promise string, create a new role. Static method. ID of the new role or null. Role name. So it provides a table there, and pretty much as we have it. Well, I think that is more than sufficient. We can then probably like create our own templates to be more efficient or to be more in sync with what we want. And we can then put it into a Meteor. Let's see, because I do believe this autoform respondly. There should be. I'm pretty sure it's like an official package. but it's like super old. I'm not sure if it's deprecated or not. Sort by newest. Let's include deprecated here as well. Here it is. 7 years. No, it's getting upgraded for it's getting upgraded for Meteor 3. So markdown package, here we go. But it is for Blaze. Which really is a question of why it's in the core. That should be moved to Blaze itself. And yeah, here we go at the top. No, this package has been deprecated. So potentially move Markdown to Blaze. That's probably one thing. So what we want to do there is to check also to have, well, first of all, let's see, we should have a website. It's old. I'm just going to create an issue here. Feature request. Docs from JS docs to Markdown. We should include docs for packages on the website. I think we should generate Markdown files for each package via this thing. We should put it in a structure that would allow for translations. That's another big one. So we can have it in other languages. I personally will probably translate into Czech and Czech definitely, and maybe I'll try my luck with Japanese, even though I don't have that skill. Who knows? And okay. And then last thing, what I need potentially is either pretty much React Markdown. Let's see what this, kind of like the big one, React Markdown is. React components to render Markdown. So plugins, blah, blah, blah. No dangerous or access attack. Nice, nice, nice. So let's put that in. And render on the page, probably via this package. So let's put that idea in. And we can keep this. Let's like a quick look over here. ESM only, so that means we have to definitely do it in meter 3, but that's in browsers with esm.sh or Windino. Let's take a look. What is that fast smart global? Okay. So that would be, that's interesting. Import React from React. All this is. I don't think that sadly would solve our issue here. So yeah, Meteor 3 it is, which is fine. That's kind of what we wanted to do anyway. Or I. And the good news is then, once we have it in Markdown in the web page itself, then we can put it onto the translation on Crowdin, which can handle Markdown without a problem. And yeah, that's going to be great. Not necessarily the best solution when it comes to, how should I say it, documentation page, but at the same time, I don't have. I also want to have other features included on the website, which would be more hopefully interactive. So that's why it's Meteor website. Otherwise, I would just probably go with Dokusaurus or something like that. But at the same time, since we are promoting Meteor, it should be Meteor website. So that's where all of this is coming from and going to. All right, it has been almost 1 hour and about 45 minutes since I started. Guys have any questions, recommendation? Would you like me to work on something specific? This is the best time, and I think especially going after the new year, this will be probably like the only time I'll be able to work on open source, or at least in such a big fashion. So feel free to put it in here. And let's see, we have some finish things off. Some news, something just recently dropped. Figma and Adobe are abandoning our proposed merger because they cannot see a path towards regulatory approval of our proposed acquisition. Let's get this back up. That's pretty big. That's huge, because I do recall last year that of people making fun of it and all that stuff. So we can let's take a look here. Yeah, how in the world would it take 15 months for regulators to reject this? And this guy has never worked with bureaucrats. But there's interest against this merger, and we're going to fight it. Okay, so that was not dragging their feet. It's just that they did not like it, and the companies were not able to persuade them otherwise. That's a very rare outcome, I would say, to see, because usually it's not that big. So okay, yeah, so it's some new website. I don't care. Of course, AI stuff. Facebook is being overrun with stolen AI generated images that people think are real. Yeah, that's going to be a big issue. And I would definitely like to talk more about this, but I think this kind of goes more into what I would probably do on a podcast with Literary Universe. So that's, I will save it for there. Servo. Let's see if there's anything else interesting. This one is actually might be related to, I think the E/ACC might be one of the related to the Techno Optimist Manifesto. Yes, Mark Artisan are showing support by adding EACC to usernames. So this is interesting. So let me read this and let's get the first reaction, because that's related to the Techno Optimist Manifesto. Let me also send that to a limb. Okay. Obscure theory doing its round in Silicon Valley. Well, it's if it's in Business Insider, it's definitely influential. Hydro hobby of tech power players. Yes, it's called effective accelerationism. ACC. Okay. No rebrand. Some of the most prominent figures, including term investors, have decided to include the term E. So effective ACC, effective accelerationism. Okay. In their usernames as badge of allegiance to the vision. Okay, that's a bit strange. So what exactly our underlying tenets of effective accelerations? Why is it having a moment right now? Okay. First of all, kind of like adding the ACC or stuff like that. It's like, oh, I'll just add the flag of the current country that is having problems onto my profile picture, or do this and that. I hate it. It's just it's just a virtue signaling, empty virtue signaling. Not really sure what to make out of it. If I wanted like investment from these people, I would just add it just cause. So it's a bit of play of effective altruism. The social movement focused on evidence-led form of philanthropy, which was infamously embraced by Sam Bankman-Fried. Yeah, that guy touch now has a bit of stain. Disgraced founder of crypto exchange FTX. The ideas of the experiments appears to have their genesis in the theories of Nick Land, a British philosopher who lectured at the University of Warwick and has come to be known as the father of the broader accelerationism movement. Accelerationist movement. I'm not sure in which way they mean that. But generally, accelerationists, at least from how I know them, are people who want to accelerate things towards the kind of downfall of the country or of the civilization, so that they can move on to the building the next one. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a positive thing. So more formalized, they have through Substack newsletter. Oh my god, they have all the things here. Yay, more to read about. Wow, this is going to be fun. So yeah, okay. One more thing that I have put in there. I think that's also the Technotis Manifesto is part of this as well. The basic idea of the philosophy is this: in technological age, the power of innovation and capitalism should be exploited to their extremes to drive radical social change, even if that means completely upending today's social order. And that's kind of, I would say, also an issue with um, the Techno Optimist manifesto, even though it's at some point kind of tries to screw not say be like no, not really. And it it sounds it sounds nice if you are not thinking things through to their logical conclusion. uh, so the first kind of post said technology and market forces, which they term techno capital, are accelerating with force that cannot be stopped. Yeah, one EMP pulse. We will see how about stopping or not stopping these things. I think that's hubris speaking in many aspects. Techno-capital can usher the next evolution of consciousness, creating unthinkable next generation life forms and silicon-based awareness. I don't think the next generation is silicon-based. Maybe some graphite nanotubes or something like that are going to have us, and other things are going to have effect. But a lot of buzzwords. And yes, if you take it to extreme, yes, of course. In EAC world, no idea that offers hypothetical values should be considered too absurd, too dangerous, too out there to make a reality. For EACC adherents, the path of progress at all costs would, in theory, make possible any imaginative idea with a purported benefit to humanity. Okay, so that's kind of contradictory. Purported benefit to humanity or anything could not be considered hypothetical value. Um, that's kind of similar issue I have with the kind of, so it's like this one thing, and then it kind of needs to say something like this to, how should I say it, in order to skew it, because if you then do I think it's called ad absurdum, that you test the idea going more and more into the absurd. And I think, like, the like purists are going that, if it has to stand like even in the absurd scenarios to be considered valid. uh, I'm not that perfectionist anymore. For me, it's like, how far into the absurd can you take it? And given how absurd some of the things in today's world are, it needs to be kind of tested against those absurd minimum the absurdities that we currently have and that are kind of on the horizon, coming from what is it called? Not 4chan, but 4chan as well, but also Tumblr, because sadly, some of the absurdities today have been created on Tumblr. That could mean justifying the development of something as outlandish as Dyson spheres. I was actually call Dyson sphere outlandish. That's pretty much, creating a structure around the sun and living there, so that you can harvest 100% of its energy. It's not an out, or maybe I'm outlandish because I don't think it's as outlandish, and it's just kind of a matter of time before that could be constructed and worked on, and it's absolutely insane project, and I think I don't kind of see a need for it, at least not anywhere in the near future, unless there's something I've completely overlooked. But that's getting out of the point. Yeah, maybe I'm too much in sci-fi. Yeah. So artificial general intelligence, again, I'm not considering that outlandish. It's just one of the possible solutions or possible like technology, and if you put your resources to it, you can get it. In case of Dyson sphere, that's massive, insanely massive resources, potentially like more material and resources than is in our solar system. So it would have to be, you would really have to go in there and harvest a lot of stuff. Okay, let's move to the more important stuff. Why it's being talked about? Getting to these technology end games is the goal for effective accelerationism because of the inherent belief that fully realized versions of technology stand to offer the fullest benefits. It goes a long way towards explaining why it might be having a bit of a moment right now. So we have since the release of OpenAI ChatGPT number 2, the promise and potential of AI have animated certain quarters of the tech community who have seen the chatbot introduction to the world a moment as game-changing as the launch of iPhone or the internet. Yes, I would agree with that. It's definitely a game-changing things, and it's not like even like linear. It's, oh my god, missing. It's just like the curve line just goes up. So if you are 1% there, then you've pretty much, you're just a few years from completing it potentially, or depending on what's the scale, how long it took to go to the 1%. For these quarters, there is now a very real opportunity to create AGI, or at least something similar to powerful as human brain, to become a bit of holy grail for certain parts of the AI field. With AGI manifest, ECS supporters believe that the world can take a huge leap forward in terms of innovation, productivity, stability, and all-round prosperity. For them, it makes the pursuit of AGI as fast as possible an almost morally imperative one, despite concerns about AI harms. This is, I think, my main problem with this thing, is that it's just focused on the end goal, the end benefits. It doesn't care how much it's going to, do harm, or what are going to be the additional effects. And as a publication of risk with bios effective accelerationism. And the background here, I find it disgusting, honestly. It's city like this. It's for me, since I'm kind of traditionalist in this way, I don't like it. I think it just how should I say, completely completely divorces, you makes you really divorces you from being human. You just become a cog in the machine, pretty much become a robot at that point. And at least when it comes to work, and social connections are, I would say, reduced also as an effect to completely nihilistic ones. So, but that's kind of there. So let's finish this up. Dan, who is Vicom represent with the last week that easy is not replace humans with robots. Instead, it's a vision that believes more tech means more humans, more prosperity, but also more AIs. The ideology might even be talked about in the context of things like city rehabilitation. Not this month. The most EAC things we can do is fix San Francisco, and we will create a breeding ground of ideas that will usher a golden age like never before seen in history. For now, the idea is still fairly fringe, and it's less than how much traction we'll get. But I think certain as long as AI remains front and center, so too will effective accelerationism. So let's quickly. I will have to then make a more detailed reading of this as well. I think it kind of comes back to the issues with, how should I call it? Have to look. I have to talk really more about it. I think maybe one of the segments that I don't in the future, as I talked earlier, I don't know what to cover then. But it's similar to kind of like my thoughts on the Techno-Optimist Manifesto, so we'll have to cover it probably together. And it's like, at one side, I love the positivity about technology, about the future, as opposed to what we have in the mainstream culture today, which is like a complete, pretty much extension, or is the extensionist movement. So I love that about it. But I do feel that I think our problems in most part, or a very huge part, are not technical. We could probably solve some of them technically as well, but I think we would lose so much in the process that it's undesirable, or the cost to develop, or cost to benefit ratio just isn't there, which I think that's like one big thing now that really is not considered, the cost to benefit, or or how much it would cost to get the technology approach versus the culture approach. And in a way, another problem is that we as humans are not designed to deal with such a rapid change. It really takes our resources. Oh man, excuse me. All that stuff. Also, kind of like here with the if we can fix San Francisco, I don't think you can use the technology to fix San Francisco, because the issues are political. It's not a technology issue in San Francisco. From what I'm seeing and reading, it's a matter of policies. It's policy and ideology. And some could potentially even argue that it's San Francisco is exactly where they want to have it. Um, and in this case, I mean both politicians and the majority of the voters, because they keep voting for the same people over and over again. So I don't see, what is there to fix in San Francisco. It is exactly as the people want it, or at least, if they don't want it, they don't say it in the uh, voting booth, which, at that point you have what you deserve. And yes, you could probably, fix the homeless issues and all that stuff with technology by adding robots and thinking of crazy technological solution, but I don't think it would solve the core problem. And it's just, I just don't, see it. I can, think of crazy solutions more and more, but it's just, until you start changing kind of the policies that caused these issues. But and then this question, like, maybe if it's, San Francisco is too far gone, that even if you reverse it to what it was before, if it would be enough, if it's like, if it isn't past the point that you need completely different set of policies, which I think might be the case, um, not just like in San Francisco, but like in other places. And I see the same thing like in Argentina, for example. I would say, the country and the deficit and all that stuff is too far gone, that you are left with only radical solution, because you cannot do anything less, because anything less is not going to solve it. And and with these radical solution, what you're going to get is, it's going to hurt. But that's just not something that kind of think people think about. So I think this, it's and also kind of like my initial second thoughts on the Technology Manifesto, I think it's too idealistic. It doesn't really take into account the cost, or like the side effects that ideology would mean. It disregards, I would say, in many aspects, the human nature. But actually, what they've written there is, you know, in pursuit of our goal, we don't care. If the human nature, or if the society is not, where was it? If the society is not, remake. Let's see, was it remake? Yeah, or so to their extremes to drive radical social change. If you drive radical social change, first of all, you're going to get blowback uh, on that. There is going to be a lot of other issues as well. And, for example, during the Industrial Revolution, you had Luddites who took the machine, throw them into the river, and just smash them and stuff like that. And I think if you just got Luddites, then that would be an understatement. That would be a victory, and you can be just happy with that. With stuff like this, especially how things are pumped up across the globe, you would get a revolution, and it would get, if this got kind of adopted as the mantra, which in a way it is. It's pretty much describing how, certain aspects are our society are moving forward. So I think it would get, it would just get nasty very badly. And that's one thing that, some of the specifically, I follow What If Altis, who describes or explores a lot of these issues and potentials of what could be in the future. And based on historical readings and other things. And one thing that he's very afraid is of the, you could say, the conservative blowback to all the ultra progressive, you know, I would, put mildly, insanities that are happening. And because part of it is because it's like, end of empire things or similar behavior that then caused in the countries that it was observed, either they crumbled away or it caused a conservative or orthodox or something similar, like something pretty much that then went and reestablished, not even maybe say traditional values, or at least what they saw as traditional values uh, in those countries, in more of the extremes, kind of like in the progress, because they say, you say, oh, progress constantly and that, and we keep progressing, but there's always something that's going to then reset it back, because not all progress is bad, and when the bad progress accumulates, then this is what happens. And it also, the sad part of it takes away with it also the good progress, because then everything is so tainted that you just have to really sweep it out. So I don't think, but it's it's kind of it's the investor or the technology investor mindset of constantly accelerate, put out new things, break things, uh, you know try to find the product market fit, go 10x, 100x and everything. And the way I'm thinking is, or I think what's going to be necessary in the future is going to be a slowdown, uh, because it's just it's tough, because in certain areas you want to have this accelerations and move forward. For example, in medicine, you of course want to develop new medicine and all that stuff, but like even there I feel that um, certain things are accelerated or pushed through when they shouldn't, when just there hasn't been enough testing and all that stuff. So I think we have a general crisis with this in many aspects, and part of it is broader societal crisis as well. So it's more of long discussion. So definitely I'll cover this at some other point. Let me see here. I have, yeah, let's do it here on the January 15th. So that is the how do they call it? EACC and the Techno Manifesto. I will be talking about the effective accelerationism, about my thoughts, and the Techno Optimist Manifesto, and either accelerationism in the society. I think that will be a interesting discussion stream. And definitely something to go more in depth. And I will try probably to get somebody else in here to join me. Hopefully, maybe some of my sponsors or something like that. And we shall see how it goes. Maybe my opinions as I read more onto this, especially this other article, notes on EACC principles and tenets. I kind of find that the crystallization of this, at least from the description from there, has been the Techno Optimist Manifesto. So that's that. And I think, especially after I like my great house and all that stuff, it is tough because if you as a company don't kind of do this accelerationism, the constant drive to find or can I do new products, constantly, this forward, then you'll be left in the dust. And it's tiresome. That's, I think, also the reason why there's a lot of burnout. People, this constant, more, quicker. And I don't want to. I want to start a family. I want to be super active in raising my children, all that stuff. I think this might be like one of the things that like constantly on my back. I need to, code more. Work on the business more. And then I find myself. It's 10 p.m. I didn't even have time to exercise, and then I'm just like realizing, what the heck am I doing with my life? So it is. It's tough because there are like, of course, there are certain benefits, but I think, or well, what I think is we are going to see probably like a correction against this in general. It won't be like a correction that kind of sprouts out of this, or like a blowback specifically against it, because it's going to be against the more crazier accelerationist, you could say, things out there that I think sparks it. And I don't know, because especially like with programming and all that stuff, sometimes I just like need, for example, just a week to think about the idea before I come to a more malleable or better solution. So speed is, but if I went like kind of with the first idea that I got, which just happened recently, I had like a feature, and the first idea I had to completely scrap it and rewrite it. I pretty much wasted hours of coding that, because it was not, I didn't get the idea properly how to do it on the first try. I really needed like to sit down, or not sit down, but like really like have some time to get the idea out there, or like to really figure out to get the correct one out. And who knows, maybe it's not even yet the correct one. It's definitely probably not the best one given everything, and but it's the best I can probably think of given the restraints I have. So that is out there as well to consider. So I think sometimes speed can be, or there's this saying, speed makes waste, or haste makes waste. And I think that's one, I would say, kind of like the first contradiction, or not contradiction, but kind of like arguments against this, is in my opinion, that if you are like constantly, okay, you need to get out there to like constantly do these things more and more, faster, go to the, balls to the walls with everything. And if it's, not, into the extreme, it's like in the name, it's extreme, then it's not good enough. And I think that might actually then even slow things down, or it will have the appearance of going super fast. But I would also say it is, in some cases, it will actually be slower than if you from beginning kind of had more leisurely or not as extreme approach, because you would think more about it, then do the move, see the, effects, response, and kind of be more correcting and adjusting, instead of just speeding through everything and to the end solution. And then if it doesn't fit the society, or like the society, you just kind of change the society, or as, let's see, you just drive radical social change. You just, you know the technology driving the society, which I think it should be the other way around, because then in this way technology becomes the master instead of the servant. So yeah, I'll have to read this more in my preparation to the discussion with Alim, and I'll have to ask him if he can prepare that. That will be next week, probably in the second half of the week. Shall see. Or actually, no, probably Wednesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, one of these days. We shall see. So so that's that. And yeah, I think I'll end the show on this note. I guess I'll have to do a bit more, well, not anything, but kind of put in the chapters for people to follow, because I've been a bit over the place. And yeah, thank you very much. I'm Storyteller CZ on GitHub. If you like what I'm doing, would like to join me on these shows as well, please consider supporting me. Let me get the website into the chat. It will be on YouTube, on Twitch chat. And so yeah, it's github.com/sponsor/storytellercz. And with that said, if you're following our Meteor dispatches weekly, I'll see you on Friday. If you're following the Literary Universe, fixing things together, I will see you on Wednesday. And if you're following neither, which I would highly recommend to follow, I will see you hopefully on Monday. So please, share. Let me know what you think. Consider subscribing to the channel or becoming a sponsor to get all the benefits. And without further ado, thank you very much for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.